I was actually told there was no way that I could put that team of talent together and make a professional roadshow out of it.
Oh, really?
And I said, you watch me. So there was a pressure on me to deliver because I said I will.
Right.
Anthony wants to go now.
Bloody hell.
Oh, we're sending Nan to Bangkok, are we?
Bloody hell.
Do a tour, mate.
Welcome to the show, and we've got a pretty amazing panel here today. Do you want to introduce everyone, Lach?
I did the last one.
Lachlan Butler, my son. Great to have him on board.
I carried the last one.
Okay, I'll do
Anthony
this one.
Baxter.
Anthony Baxter, Carol Chaney, and
Shaza, Leigh.
and Scotty
I
Parker.
want a better intro.
Smells amazing.
His cologne device.
Seriously.
Aha.
Honestly.
Right. Well,
His whole cologne just goes throughout the whole house, and it's amazing.
it's
I don't want
beautiful.
to leave.
Lucky's going to steal it before he goes.
Yeah.
No, look, welcome to the show. What we thought we'd like to start with today is that we all met through country music, and you guys did the 30th anniversary tour with Lindsay and I, and met Scotty, who is Buddy Williams' son, at the Mackay show. Grandson, sorry, grandson.
Okay.
We've only spoken about it 2 hours before this.
Well, I'm tired. It's been a long day. Who is Buddy Williams' grandson. So it's really, really wonderful to have everyone here. And when you guys all met in Mackay is my home region, so it's always very special to me. Did the actual audience and the show feel different there to any of the others, or did they all feel pretty similar?
It was very wet.
We won't be talking
Oh,
about the
won't we?
bus.
We may be talking about
Carol got straight to the chase. We actually bogged our tour bus.
That was an experience. You don't always get an experience like that, Shaza. And it was fascinating to sit back and watch.
Everyone digging.
Carol was eating and drinking.
No.
Just at the pub, checking
I was
everyone was
being,
alright.
well, you got to test the food for everybody. So, no, it was.
Mine was cold when I got back.
It was a lovely crowd, and the whole feel was good.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
As all of them.
At every venue.
So for you guys, every one of them, like all of our
Yes.
crowds are really special, and our fans become like family for us.
Yeah.
We've been touring the circuit for so long, and everyone's dear to us. I wondered how it felt for you guys being exposed to that fan base for the first time.
Well, I feel getting up on stage, just looking out of where you're going to be playing, just get an idea of the venue and how sort of the feeling sort of comes in straight away, and it just relaxes you for the show. I found that doing that is...
So you draw energy from the crowd?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I do
Just
too.
so I've got this straight, you know who I am, right? You didn't try harder.
Try hard.
Play the boogie.
Just sing, Scotty, just sing.
Sorry.
Yeah. The thing that was really special about that show, like apart from my family and friends and people that I've known forever, for you guys was meeting the family of Buddy Williams, and so that was the first connection you guys have all had. Since then, you've actually all stayed in touch as friends.
I just wondered if it was hard to repair the relationship when you guys thought he was joking that he's actually related.
Well, I had Scotty on.
Did you think it was a joke?
No, I had Scott on social media for a long time
Yeah, you have,
before
mate,
the
yeah.
initial.
I was watching
show.
Anthony going,
So-
who is this guy? He's incredible. Which I tell him all the time.
Yeah.
He's very
So
talented.
you guys were connected before we actually went to there. So
Yeah.
you met for the first
I
time.
knew he was related to Buddy Williams before we even met at the show. So,
Yeah. So therefore, there was an excitement for you to be meeting.
I think it was very
Buddy's family?
special. You know, you learn off these people and you listen to these people's music, and to actually meet family members.
He's a special man, Mackay.
You know, it's really, really special. You know, I've never had the privilege of meeting Buddy, but to have...
I'm
really
privileged that you're privileged to meet
a
me.
great
No one ever says that. After the first meeting, they go, "Oh my."
Oh, Lordy.
I'm bad,
Are you right?
No, it's a good feeling to be able to associate with some hierarchy of the industry.
And nice people too.
Yeah,
Nice
and
people. Well, the rest of the family. Sorry.
I was going to say such nice things.
Now, Anthony, you have a deep respect for the pioneers of country music, and your guitar style suits that music just beautifully. So, as you've progressed in your career and you've met more and more of the country music fraternity and the hardcore country music artists, you've now become one of them. How has that transitioned, and how does that feel to go from being a fan to becoming one of the artists?
Well, I don't know how I did it. You know, you usually have close connections somehow with these pioneers to sort of learn their music. But I've learned over the years. I did clarinet and piano in high school and primary school, and just listening to tracks on CDs had got me drawn into that era. And I say on the radio all the time, I don't know, I should have been born 20, 30 years ago when they're all still here. But it's really special to be able to carry and adopt my own traditional style through you, Shaz. Actually carrying on the tradition of music of Buddy and Slim and Shorty and those sort of artists.
Absolutely. I know when you were first brought to the studio, and I took one look at you, and he's got all these tattoos. And I'm like, no. And Lindsay said, I'm going to do a single with this young bloke. And I went, seriously? But then I met you.
This is true.
He knows. He knows.
You were talking to Mark Eccles a couple of months ago and you brought it up.
I know. Well, you can see I'm still scarred for life. And you know why I'm scarred? Because I pride myself in not really judging people, and I took one look and just thought, this is just not going to work. And so that prejudgment, which is something that I try never to do, I did. However, I overcame that initial shock and took the time to meet you, heard you play, and from then on we've become really close friends, and I love that we've had an association with your career. But that initial shock was quite substantial. And so much so, he comes and does a show, and he's got short sleeves and all open, and there's just tattoos everywhere. And I pulled him aside and just sort of said, what did I say?
No short clothes, you said something like that.
You don't go onto our stage if you haven't got long sleeves. So next time Anthony's got everything buttoned down here.
Middle of summer, and he's in a suit jacket with tie and everything.
Well, it's near summer now, look at all
I know.
And the fan base love you, mate.
That's the main thing. I think you can't do it yourself. You need that fan base and a lot of support. And I'm very fortunate to have that, because it's a tough industry to break through, and it just makes it that much easier to have the support that I have.
And you had fun on the tour with the young blokes too, like your exposure to Lachie. It was actually
with them, without us.
For both of you, it was your very first national tour like that. Lachie's been on the road since he was born, but it was the first time as a musician.
Bloody hell, Lach.
So you two should have a talk about that.
I'll tell you one thing you wouldn't expect with this fella. He can sink them. He can sink them large. He would feel that by himself while Blake and I are playing. Ooh.
Oh, good.
No, it's good, isn't it?
All I want to say is, thank God I had a stick bag in the band. I'm sorry.
You just got thrown under the bus for it.
Well, I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm fine.
And Anthony used to buy the biggest feed on the menu and walk out and leave it sitting on the table.
I loved it. I was going to sit next to him.
That's the same. What happens on tour stuff?
Not anymore. No, the fun stuff comes out.
No, you got a lot of stuff happened on tour. And
absolutely.
It's fun.
It makes it a good experience. Good and bad.
Drama. How'd you go?
Oh, it was good. I asked the questions.
No, seriously, how did it feel for you to be on stage for the first time? You've been at all our shows since you were born.
Yeah, but I haven't really been present, have I? I've always been watching movies, which is pretty much what everyone bloody told me too. That said, like every fam's like, you're usually watching movies. Like, yeah, right, I'm usually watching movies.
When I first met you, you were watching movies.
If I wasn't so old I had to earn my chicken, then I'd still be watching movies. Here we are. Yeah.
It's astounding to the amount of time you've been playing the drums. It's unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I thought you meant how long
I'm bloody 20 years playing. I'm still bloody struggling.
I said to him last night because I heard like you practicing, and I said, "How long have you been playing?" He told me. I was playing. Say that again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, thank you.
It's unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And everybody loved you. Everybody loved
Yeah,
you.
I still couldn't tell you a piece of theory about it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You've got the feel, and that's the main thing.
Heart and soul.
Yeah.
He actually plays the drums like a musician. Just doesn't
But
bash
to
them.
be fair, and I'm not just blowing steam up yours, you guys made it so easy because you sing with passion and you feel it, which makes it easy for me. And I've played behind a few people who are just, all about technical stuff, and it's not me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just hitting the beat, and
Yeah,
it's
they're not feeling the
it's
music.
very different. Yeah, and I can say that much.
There's got to be an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both
And
both
Respect
on
for
stage
everybody.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes.
thing.
And it's really beautiful because Anthony, you did record an album. We recorded an album for you and Lindsay, but you're currently recording your very first solo album, and Lachie has been your drummer on your album.
Yeah.
So, like, how?
Yeah.
So
It's doing it
he's gone from not playing at all and just playing for himself to actually becoming a touring drummer and now a session drummer. Yeah. And it's really beautiful because the feels, you guys just feel the music together. It's very special.
Yeah. I don't think it's about the connections through music and how comfortable you are on stage with fellow musos. It doesn't really matter how long you've been playing or how long you've been playing with each other. It's just that connection thing that's the important part of it all. It makes the job a lot easier for everyone.
Yeah. Yep. Carol.
Yes.
We left Carol till last. That's because we're always worried about what she might say.
No, how special was it? Like, just on Carol, you sang "I Won't Stand in Your Way," which was written by you.
Yes.
We all played and worked on that track immensely in the production and whatnot, and to bring that on stage, like, there was just something so special about it. It was like it was soulful.
Yeah.
It was one of the magical tracks every night. Now there were certain songs that really stood up that we all just felt, and every night it just touched our heart. That performance, that song was one of them.
Never failed.
No, every night. And I think it was just something that we were all connected to that song.
Yeah.
And you delivered that one with an extra passion.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as soon as you played it before I recorded it, you said, "What do you think about this song?" And my husband said, "No, you want something up tempo." And I said, "No, I want that one."
Yeah.
There was something in that.
He wanted the bubblegum song that I wrote.
Probably, yes.
It was just like a throwaway song, and I'm like, seriously?
Was it called Bubblegum?
Yeah, I call songs with little substance,
right.
just throwaway songs,
I
bubblegum.
didn't think you'd call something Bubblegum.
No. Songs that I write that I don't consider have much substance, you just chew them up and spit them out.
No, that one, I just had to hear the first part of it, and I knew that's the one I wanted to do.
And we knew that song would suit you.
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
just heard you doing it, and it was truly one of the magical tracks every night.
Your stage presence too.
Yes,
Of course.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Anthony, how was it for you to actually play guitar for all the different styles of artists? Like, each one of us are very unique in our own way, and we put that show together accordingly so that we were taking a proper package show. How comfortable was it for you to transition from the different styles?
Well, I didn't initially rehearse anything. I thought I was going to struggle, actually, to be honest, with everyone. But
You did.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Struggling to keep food on his plate too.
He's got steak in
You
it.
look away and he's steak and vanish.
Yeah, that's it.
It was a lamb.
It was a lamb chop.
Horse steak.
Anthony's looking at his plate going, didn't I have an extra chop? I'm like,
Lockie's over there.
No, it wasn't obvious.
But no, I had to learn quickly.
yeah.
Yeah, so
It's an expectation, isn't it, with a road show?
You do.
Like, everything's fast.
You've either got to be there and do it, or you don't
Miss
be.
out.
Yeah.
Miss out, yeah.
Well, the interesting thing from the audience perspective, because you guys I really enjoyed the show. So did Mum, Dad, Kate, Grace was fantastic.
Could you pick up that we hadn't rehearsed or anything?
No. It sounded great.
Yeah, no,
By the time we got to Mackay, the show was already over. We had everything firing by then.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed your singing as well. And I've said to you privately, I really want to sit down and sing and play with you and you
Yeah.
as well and see what we can come up with.
Oh,
Seriously.
And
I'll try. I'll try hard.
and we might come back and have a play tonight after.
Yeah, we should. No, but that's really special feedback because your family came and you have someone from just about every generation, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
To hear.
That was Grace's first show.
Yeah, and
Wow.
she's only young.
She doesn't know. She's
Yeah.
like me at that age. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And she's learning hooey.
So how old is she now? 12?
11.
11, yeah.
Yeah.
She was beautiful.
Beautiful girl.
Yeah.
But really good job. We loved it.
Oh, that's good.
phenomenal.
No, it was a fantastic show, and you have a look at other shows around, and they just wander around, wander up on stage, and this was so boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it was structured. It just flowed, but it wasn't.
And that's the secret
And
to
it was
putting together
professional.
a great road show. I know that everything happens very hard and fast, and I wanted to talk to you too about this because you've been in a lot of different shows and bands, and you've had a fair amount of experience with different ensembles as well. This was a huge step for you guys, and especially from the rehearsal stage. And we had 2 days, I think, to get the entire show together and then say, yes, we're ready for the road. It was tough because I know that I'm probably a little bit dictatorial in that process because I am, but all I care about, and I know, is I'm so focused on getting everything right so that when we walk on that stage, everyone is seen in their best light. How tough was that, like that lead up? Because once the show is rolling, everything relaxes, and once we've got that first show under our belt, we can all relax. We only need to rehearse the things that didn't quite gel. But those first 2 days, they must have been just frenetic for you guys, and you must have just gone, oh my gosh, I don't know whether I can cope with this.
I was fine as long as I remembered the words and that I didn't let the rest of the show down.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fear, that maybe it didn't gel or something, but once you get in there and you see the audience, and if the audience is singing along with you, well, that's fantastic. I mean, that's how you're doing the right sort of thing. And it was brilliant.
You still did forget the words, huh?
I make up a couple.
You're professional. She comes in so good.
It just shines and pretends like it was meant to be.
Sometimes she just tells me, yeah, I forgot the words.
And for you, Anthony, we tried to take the pressure off you so that there wasn't so much responsibility for you first up, and so we tried to protect you in that regard. But you wanted to be all in, so you did not want to be protected. You were just wanting to be on stage whole show.
I think the thing with me is I've done stuff over the years with the guitar playing, but never singing. So I think I was a bit worried too about the singing side of it. Just sort of a couple of months into it and going onto a big tour to do it, and it was a bit daunting, but I got used to it. And I'm doing a bit of singing
Yeah.
a lot more now.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
The difference with a road show to a band, and like you guys have had experience with bands, the difference with a road show is that it's a family.
Yes.
And you become very, very tight and very protective of each other. And also, when you're presenting each show in each town, things do go wrong. But the bottom line is everyone's very aware of doing the very best that they can for each other, from the musicians through to whoever's the front and centre as the star of each spot. You want to make sure that you're holding up your end and doing things as well, because a road show's only as good as the weakest link on the night, because people will remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think too, with the connection that we all have, it makes it a lot easier. It takes the pressure off and sort of calms your nerves and things like that, knowing that you're working with some
Professionals.
of the best in
But you build a true love and rapport for everyone
You
that's
do.
on the show.
Yeah.
And I think I personally had that with all of you anyway from working in the studio, so just wanted the very best for each one of you. But for you guys to sort of just come in cold and be thrown into a group, and then it must have been quite daunting.
Oh, I thought it was pretty epic. Like on that, you took a massive risk on all of us.
Yes.
All of us. It was huge.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was pulled off was amazing. But on top of that, you're a very strong leader, very, very strong. Something I respected the hell out of these guys for, and the couple of others we had with them, is the strength of character you guys showed to cop it on the chin and get up and do better.
Yeah.
And that goes across everyone, because a lot of people crumble.
Yeah,
they do.
The respect and the strength of character you guys showed to respond to it rather than run from it, I will never forget.
Yeah.
No, me
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've got the
Fantastic.
opportunity to look you guys in the eye and say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So it's good.
So based on that,
That just made me terrified of next year.
In all seriousness, you'll be enveloped, by the people, and your best will just come out. And
I was actually told there was no way that I could put that team of talent together and make a professional roadshow out of it.
Oh, really?
And I said, "You watch me." So
it was
there was a
fantastic.
pressure on me to deliver, because I said I will, because I believe
I
in
understand
it's
your drive,
like
that is
pulling
the thing.
it's like pulling together a team of young talent in a sporting team, and people saying you like new talent, and people just go, "Look, you got no chance of doing
What are you,
anything with
25?
that group of people." So there was a pressure on me, and I did a lot of this in my early career. When I toured with the Brian Young Show, we would pull a whole pool of talent. They'd fly in from all over Australia, join the show. We would have 2 days to put that show together, and we would hit the road. And some of them were better than others, and we'd be just hoping and praying that by the time we hit the Aboriginal communities that band was rocking. Well, I needed this show to be Mickey Mouse, because the very first show was Lindsay's hometown of Tenterfield.
Yes.
And we've been going to Tenterfield for years, and we did not want to embarrass Lindsay. So there was an absolute pressure on me to make sure that Tenterfield show.
So how did you feel about the
I was proud.
the overall
I was
tour?
proud of every one of you, that you all rose to the occasion, and we put on one of the very best touring shows that's been on the road in years.
I know.
And that was the way I wanted the 30th anniversary tour to be.
When I go out now and you go, "Oh, this is not very professional," I shouldn't say that.
You miss us. She misses us.
oh, when you say it again.
I do, because
Are you still here, Scotty?
it's you feel you can do your best because you know everybody else is behind you,
Correct.
and you know where you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to think, "Oh, is he playing that or that?"
Yeah.
You just didn't have to worry. All you had to do was go out there and do your show, and that was.
It's
amazing.
mind-blowing,
It
isn't it?
was.
It's a big
it was.
difference.
It is.
Yeah.
Even I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing worse than people meandering on and just talking to the band in between songs, and I want to do this.
Yes.
And my big thing is, we know what's doing. We have a program. We know what song's coming next. We know what key. We know the count. All you have to do is stand and perform.
Yes.
And you guys all stood and delivered. I was so proud of everyone.
Oh, that's not me.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it was. We had some young, very young talent, and they were just amazing. They just stood and, you know, older entertainers can't do that.
No.
They just can't. They just go, you know. And
which is what Lockie's saying. A lot of them just crumble. They can't handle the pressure of rising to that level.
Look, if you
What
want
are you doing over there? I've got my back to you. The one who can't be trusted.
I honestly am behaving. I am.
hang on, what time is it?
So anyway, by the time we got to Mackay, where you saw the show, we'd been all down through the south, and we'd gone up as far as Townsville, and we'd worked our way back down the coast. And so I said to them in Townsville, there were a couple of things where everyone was a little bit complacent. I actually made them, after the show, rehearse the songs that weren't spot on. I said, you're not going into my hometown and embarrassing me. So we're snapping this up. So after the whole audience had left, we'd all said goodbye. They're back on the stage. I said, don't pack up. We're going to sort this. And so that's, as Lockie said, I'm a very, very strong leader and probably ad nauseum to some people, but it's about getting it right.
You need leadership. Otherwise, everybody just does their own thing.
And if you want to learn and get better,
you
know,
And you did.
And, you know, if you don't want to, you crumble. That's when you crumble.
Yeah.
When you don't want to learn.
I think this comes down to if you want to live. I'd like to do this. Okay, Shaz.
Are you coming on tour next time?
He is.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But so the bottom line is, my view has always been, every person that comes into our show, they are spending their hard-earned dollars to get a quality show. They're entrusting us to give them very best of ourselves to them, so that they go away having had an enjoyable experience. And I think that our show really delivered.
Yes.
And like I say, I couldn't be happier with that show, and actually putting a better one together at a later date will be very difficult. It ended up being extraordinary.
And it's one of those things you don't take for granted either.
No.
As I said, I learnt listening to your music. From doing that in the bedrooms, just playing away, learning, to be on stage, doing it with the people you learnt from, you know, it's something you just don't...
Particularly with Lindsay, Shaza and Peggy, and now Lockie. I mean, it was just, to have that amount of talent there, just amazing.
Yeah, for us, we're a core that's been together for nearly 20 years. And so that's also quite daunting, to come into a core of musicians that they're already locked in together.
And it's daunting.
And you guys are actually just expected to go from being able to do what you want to just going and locking in with us. It's a pretty full-on experience as a musician.
I shouldn't say I found it easy, but I did. In a way, it was like because I recorded with you, it made a difference, because I knew that you knew what was happening, or what to play and everything. So even though we were probably nervous, it just felt comfortable to be there. And that we loved your music, we loved you, and we had your back. You know, exactly.
There's something that's very special. So you guys would understand now why I absolutely hate having to take a stage without Lindsay and without Peg.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's like you're stepping out of that comfort zone. We've worked together for 20 years.
It's like being naked.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it feels like. You just feel totally stripped and just
Stop and stop. I can see.
Do you really think we're going to be able to make a professional out of it?
Wait, we need to contract them as co-hosts.
So No, look, it was a
You
mammoth
don't want to
tour.
look at me for a serious moment, I tell you.
And a 40-day tour of having people just travelling together for that length of time. And look, everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Oh,
From
yes.
Anthony broke Carol's towel rail.
The things that went wrong. Yeah.
And the bogging of the bus.
Through to the
Yeah.
Do you know what? We've had that tour bus on the road for 16 years.
That was the tightest turnaround too. It got bogged like late at night almost,
Yes.
and we had the tightest turnaround to get to wherever we were headed next.
To Rockhampton. It was a 4-hour
Which was
trip.
a Morning Melodies lunchtime
Absolutely.
thing, wasn't
We
it?
had to head out that night. We
Yeah.
had an afternoon show, had to get in and set up.
Yep.
And we goes out to go to dinner with Scott and his family. And our tour bus was bogged.
Dead set, because this is pretty well at the end of the tour. We're all down to bare bones, no clothes left. So we're wearing our last pair of good clothes, basically. That's me anyway.
Yeah.
Not me.
And all of us, no, you're at the pub. You're at the pub.
I had to get the food.
Okay. And you ate it too. We're all down on our knees,
Yeah.
just getting mud all over our last pair of clothes.
You do realise they told me to get out of there because they knew what they had to do to get that bus out, and they didn't want me impeding anything and saying, "Don't wreck my tour bus."
Yeah, so it was better that we're at the hotel.
Exactly.
So what was the solution to getting it out? You had to take stuff out
No,
of the van.
just a wand that it was out, remember? No hassles.
No, we had buses break. Oh,
And we had
another van.
We
broke
had
down.
Kelly's vehicle
Oh,
broke
yeah.
down.
Yeah, the poor buggers.
Yeah, I know.
They got that thing especially for this tour.
Beautiful
Yeah.
motorhome, all
Gorgeous.
decked out, sign written.
Yeah.
Got down the road and stopped.
Wouldn't move.
Oh, I think it was an Albury, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Just
Really? I didn't know that.
on
Oh, yeah.
We just had you guys got you got the experience of a lifetime.
Oh,
Everything that
absolutely.
could go wrong did go wrong, but everything that could go right went right.
Absolutely.
Musically, everything was just perfect.
So,
Um,
as far as the show's concerned, that happened, and that was really good. It was whatever was happening.
and it always is.
And
It's always the stuff, the travelling.
Yeah.
It's the things that happen behind the scenes that are the hard part of touring.
And I'd do it again too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. We should give you all the gold star, but we can't afford it. But it was really beautiful, and I'm sure we'll do it all again. So thanks,
fantastic.
team. You're part of
Thank
our
you.
family. Love you all heaps.
Thank
I
you,
felt the
guys.
co-host has more questions. That's all.
Have you got questions? We're going to get to dinner. We had a dinner booking and Scotty shouting.